And welcome back. We're at Bass Pro Shops once again for this year's Bucket Blitz for the Salvation Army.
Yes, we are, and Mayor Ken McClure joins us now, and I can't wait to hear the story about you have a special significance. There's a special meaning with you and the Salvation Army. It goes back to when you were a kid.
Right. Good afternoon. The Salvation Army has been so special in our family. My father's oldest sister, who never married, was a social worker at the Salvation Army, and she passed away very prematurely. But we always had that connection with the Salvation Army. She would come over for Sunday dinner at our house, talk about the work that the Army was doing. So I've made it a point all these years when my contributions go in to do that to the Salvation Army in her memory. This is so special.
Now, I know when we were talking a little bit earlier, of course, you wanted to remind people of the fact that, you know, this is kind of the tip of the spear. The work goes on throughout the year.
It sure does. And what we talk about right now, Christmas time, giving to the Salvation Army, is really setting the stage for the work that the Army does throughout the year. What we do at the Harbor House, at the Thrift Store, at the Family Enrichment Center, all of those are year-round activities, and they're supported by our community. We focus on it now, but it has so much importance all year round.
Yeah, you know, we talked about that yesterday. There are programs for seniors, there are programs for youth, programs for families, daily feeding of people who have really nowhere else to go. What were some of the things that stood out to you when your aunt would sit around the dinner table? I mean, what
she would always talk about the needs that people had, and they were a wide variety, and this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so you can see it's magnified over the years, but you know, it really tugged at your heartstrings when you hear that, and but it struck a chord because there are people like the Army that meet those needs. So when we talk about needs that people have, it's so refreshing to know that we got the Salvation Army to help us meet those needs.
Yeah, and the reality is, as good as our city is, there are always people who need our help.
We do, and we have so many good people and organizations stepping up to help, but our needs continue to increase, and I see that every day, as do others in our community. So we're so thankful for the Salvation Army and the work that it does. It's always so meaningful at Christmas time. It's not Christmas unless you hear the bells out there.
True, and your aunt being a social worker, I know would be so touched to know that you not only went on to be mayor of Springfield, but you still remember the stories that she told you at the dinner table. You know, last night after being out here, it was very cold yesterday and rainy. I laid down in bed and I thought to myself, you know, there are a fair amount of people in our community right now who have no bed to sleep in, much less a roof over their head, and they're hungry. And it really just makes you stop and think about every little coin that goes in this kettle can make the difference in someone surviving, literally.
It's like Bob Roberts was talking about. There, but for the grace of God, go all of us.
Any of us. And it really highlights that. And you see people and say, you know, I want to help. And so I try to just put change in my pocket when I go by.
Exactly.
You know, even if that's all it is, that at least helps meet what they need to do.
But they can make that change go a long way.
A long way. It sure does.
They absolutely can. Well, thank you very much, Mayor Ken McClure.
Thank you for doing this.
Oh, Mr. Mayor, thank you very much for being out here.
Merry Christmas.
Always glad to be here. Merry Christmas to you too. Come see us anytime.
We will do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Good stuff. All right, come on out to Bass Pro Shops. We are right along Campbell Street near the big sign. We invite you to come and put a little bit of money in the kettle, or a lot of money in the kettle if you so choose. We'll take it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Come on by, stop by. You know, you can also text SAL to 24365. They'd love to get that text. All right?
Yeah, they would. We'll be right back. We're going to go check in with Cammie Jenkins over at the Battlefield Mall as Bucket Blitz continues.